Good evening, everyone. And as we discussed earlier, we'll be doing this series of numbers starting from 1 to 9. And I've already spoken about number 1. So, number 1 is a number which initiates things. If placed well, it goes well. And if it's not placed well, then definitely you would see issues. Now, when we're talking about number 2, what is number 2? So, number 2 is basically known for its diplomacy, its association with others, partnership, modesty, the spiritual influence. Number 2 is majorly known for one specific thing, that is gathering facts from others. So what it does, a number 2 person would always, get all the possible information what he requires after meeting a couple of people around him. He would not think of, working all alone by himself, keeping himself aloof. No, what he would believe, having a very very diplomatic attitude and gathering maximum information which he requires. So he will get all the information what he needs, and then he will do it his way. Number 2 is also a number for partnerships, for agreements. Number 2 is very sensitive. It's just sensitive as the moon. It works as per the moon. When I'm talking about, it relies upon the others. It relies upon others to gain information, even to for his living, for his well-being. He quite depends on others. He cannot be alone. Why? When you talk about the moon, it represents the moon, right? Number 2 is the moon. So when we're talking about the moon itself, for the moon to shine, it needs to rely on the sun, right? Now when you're talking about all positive traits, you will get tact, you'll get persuasion, association, agreement, a lot of sensitivity, modesty in a number 2. But when you're talking about the negative traits, say the moon is not placed well, there'll be a lot of scattered thoughts. The person will have a lot of scattered thoughts, a lot of femininity in him. They would not know how to save time, so there will be a lot of loss of time. They get into too much of detailings of that nitty gritty. There's a lot of things they get into, and checking all those minute things. Uh, Apart from that, a lot of fear, shyness, unhappiness, these are then your self consciousness. They get very very self conscious. So this is when, how would you actually gauge when a 2 is positive or a two is negative? What you need to do, get into your birth chart, and you check how exactly the number 2, that's moon placement. You need to check the placement of moon. Forget moon does very well in the first house, the basic stuff. Moon will do very well in the first house. Moon will do very well in the second house, in the fourth house. What if you have a moon in the fourth house, but your moon is in the sign of Scorpion? That means in debilitation. What exactly would happen? Would you get inner peace? Would you get that type of comfort, luxury, that motherly care in the fourth domain after being? So just putting somebody's name on a 2 vibration, or else giving him the beautiful white color. Okay, you can go ahead with all white. In your wardrobe you can wear all the pastel shades. So when you talk about a number, any number, like we are talking about 2, see the placement of moon, see the dignity of moon, see the nakshatra in which moon is. Okay, once you will see the nakshatra, what are the planets governing it, then you'll get an actual picture of how exactly that number 2 or else moon is going to bless this specific person. Or else just doing a name change and saying, okay, you're a 2 born, these are the good colors, these are the numbers, these are the beautiful things related to number 2, which you can go ahead with in your life, is would be incomplete knowledge. So the colors which you could go ahead with, if your sun is placed well, if your moon is placed well, say if your moon is in exaltation, that is, if your moon is in the sign of Taurus in the exalted degree, then is when you can go off with more of the whiter shades, the pale shades, the lighter shades. You can go ahead with prune, you can go with whites, all the shades of whites, you can go ahead with that. And yes, another important thing, when you're talking about number 2, it's the moon. Consumption of milk, very very important. If you have very very good moon on your chart, this is a very important tip. If you have a good moon on your chart, consumption of milk is very very good. Say if your moon is in affliction, or else if your moon is in debilitation, I would advise you, this is a bonus tip which I'm giving you, I would advise you not to consume milk, especially on Amavasyas, especially when the moon is transiting in the sign of Scorpion. Then is when the moon is in debilitation. Do not consume it. Automatically, when you're saying your moon is not placed well, that means when you're going to consume that energy, it definitely is going to give you a problem. I hope you like the video, so do share it and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for number 3, Jupiter, the planet of abundance, but not always. Thank you so much.